Hey guys, how's it going? If you're a fan of real-time strategy games, get ready for a wave of new challenges. In 2025 and beyond, the RTS PC gaming scene promises to bring unprecedented experiences with innovations in gameplay and next-generation graphics. In this video, we're going to explore the most anticipated releases with titles that will appeal to both veterans and newcomers to the genre. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with Veil of Ashes, an action-adventure game with RPG elements set in a dark and mysterious world. The game promises a dense narrative, with significant choices that affect the course of the story. It combines melee combat and magical abilities, with an emphasis on exploration and immersion. The game's atmosphere is one of its biggest draws, with visuals that evoke a sense of desolation and mystery, which should please fans of dark fantasy games. Veil of Ashes' gameplay proposal focuses on challenging mechanics, requiring the player's strategic attention and constant reflection. As a result, the game can attract both those who enjoy a more narrative-focused experience and those who prefer tactical action, as it's possible to customize the character and their abilities. There's also a promise of multiple paths, where decisions made directly influence the game's events and outcomes. Front RTS is a title focused on the real-time strategy genre, promising to bring a unique approach to fans of war games. With a setting inspired by a dystopian and devastated future, players will be able to command different factions as they face intense battles. The game stands out with the promise of a dynamic resource system and a challenging AI, which promises to make every confrontation unpredictable and exciting. Front's gameplay focuses on base building, unit management, and complex strategy execution. In addition, the title promises innovative tactical elements, such as the possibility to alter the battlefield terrain to create strategic advantages, like building fortifications or changing the geography of combat areas. This, along with the focus on real-time strategy, makes the game a promise for more traditional RTS fans, but with a good dose of innovation. Although the title still doesn't have a precise date, expectations are high for the 2026 release. Front RTS has the potential to attract strategy game enthusiasts for its combination of tactical complexity and futuristic setting, promising an immersive virtual warfare experience. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition brings a remaster of one of the greatest classics of the RTS genre, set in the expanded Warhammer 40k universe. With improved graphics, new mechanics, and all the strategic depth that made the series famous, the Definitive Edition has everything to please both longtime fans and newcomers. The game's focus is on intense battles with immense armies, each with their unique units and tactics. The remaster promises not only improved graphics, but also adjustments to gameplay mechanics, bringing a smoother and more updated experience. With the enhanced multiplayer mode, the game will become even more competitive, with new options and maps, as well as improvements in faction balancing, which are already quite distinct. The experience will be both strategic and visually impressive, something the franchise had already been promising, but now in a more robust version. For fans of Dawn of War and the Warhammer universe, this Definitive Edition promises to be the ultimate version of the franchise, offering more content, better performance, and of course, new ways to play. The release is scheduled for 2025 and will bring back the epic battles that marked the history of RTS, further solidifying the Warhammer brand as one of the great references in the genre. The Last General is a real-time strategy game set in a futuristic war scenario. In it, players take command of armies in epic and devastating battles, with a strong focus on resource management and quick decision-making. The futuristic setting brings up issues such as the use of advanced technologies and the implications of a global conflict in a world of military innovations. One of the promises of The Last General is the strategic depth the game will offer. With a large number of units and factions, each with its own peculiarities, the player will need to use intelligence and planning to achieve victory. In addition, the game will bring unit customization options, allowing players to shape their forces according to their playstyle and personal preferences. With a planned release for 2026, The Last General promises to be a strong competitor in the RTS market, offering fans a dynamic and challenging experience. Its futuristic setting and complexity in battle mechanics are aspects that should attract enthusiasts of the genre, especially those who seek a more modern and intense strategy experience. Task Force Admiral is a naval combat simulator that focuses on the air and naval battles of World War II. The title puts players in control of American aircraft carriers in a recreation of historical events, challenging them to make strategic decisions that can change the course of a battle. The game promises great attention to detail, from historical accuracy to the realistic simulation of combat. The gameplay of Task Force Admiral will be centered on the strategic control of naval and air forces. Players will need to manage their fleets, plan attacks, and respond to threats while seeking to dominate the seas. In addition, the recreation of historical battles will be a great attraction for fans of military simulators who will be able to experience firsthand the challenges faced during the war. With a release scheduled for November 2025, the first volume of the series promises to please fans of naval simulation and military strategy games. The historical fidelity and the depth of the combat mechanics should ensure an immersive and challenging experience, making the title an excellent option for those who like more complex and realistic games. Strategos is a strategy title that promises to focus on empire building and military, economic, and diplomatic decision-making. With a tactical and detailed approach, the game will allow players to build their civilizations from scratch, facing the typical challenges of governing and expanding. With strategic combat mechanics and a great emphasis on exploration and development, Strategos aims to bring a deep and engaging experience. In addition to the focus on tactical battles, Strategos will include resource management aspects, which will bring more depth to the gameplay. Interaction with other factions, both friendly and enemy, will be crucial for victory, as the game will bring diplomatic, commercial, and war options. The idea is that the player can create multifaceted strategies, adapting to different scenarios and challenges. The release forecast for 2025 positions Strategos as a great promise in the world of strategy games. If it can deliver the depth it promises, it will be an excellent addition to the genre, attracting fans of titles like Civilization and Total War, offering a robust and possibility-rich strategic experience. Sudden Strike 5 brings the iconic series back, with a new chapter focused on intense battles and real-time military strategies. With a historical setting, the game promises to recreate great World War II confrontations, allowing players to command armies from various factions and units, each with their own peculiarities and strengths. The improved graphics and smoother gameplay are some of the great expectations for this new title in the franchise. The series has always been recognized for its tactical depth, and Sudden Strike 5 should be no different. The game will bring a realistic combat system, where every move can make the difference between victory and defeat. The big addition to the title will be the possibility of playing on consoles like PS5 and Xbox Series, in addition to PC, bringing the experience to a new range of players. With a robust multiplayer mode, confrontations between players should be one of the main attractions. With a release scheduled for 2026, Sudden Strike 5 has everything to please fans of the series and the RTS genre, offering complex and challenging battles. The ability to execute elaborate strategies and the recreation of historical battles should ensure the game is an excellent option for those who enjoy war and military simulation titles. D.O.R.F is a real-time strategy game that takes place in a dystopian future where military factions are at war for resources and global dominance. The game's proposal is to allow players to command armies of robots and autonomous units facing fast and strategic battles. The game's AI is one of the main promises, offering a constant challenge for those who seek a more tactical and engaging war experience. The combat system in D.O.R.F is designed to be highly dynamic, with a strong focus on unit customization and the control of different types of military forces, each with specific advantages and disadvantages. The possibility of modifying your units and experimenting with different combinations of strategies will be one of the game's attractions, giving players the freedom to adapt and overcome obstacles in creative ways. Scheduled for October 2025, D.O.R.F promises an engaging tactical experience, mixing aspects of RTS with science fiction and modern warfare. If the game delivers on its promises, it could be an excellent option for fans of strategy games, especially those looking for something more futuristic and with innovative combat mechanics. Master of Command 7 Years' War immerses players in one of the most turbulent periods in history, the 7 Years' War. The game will offer a detailed view of this global conflict, where players take on the role of military leaders, commanding armies in the most intense battles of the era. The emphasis on strategic and diplomatic management will be fundamental, allowing players to explore all facets of this historical conflict. The gameplay of Master of Command will be focused on tactical decision-making with a significant emphasis on war logistics, troop movement, and terrain use. In addition to battles, the game will also require skill in diplomacy, as alliances and negotiations will be crucial for success. The faithful recreation of historical campaigns and battles is one of the title's big promises, providing an immersive and educational experience for history fans. With a release scheduled for December 2025, Master of Command seeks to stand out in the strategy genre, combining deep historical knowledge with gameplay mechanics that promise to be both challenging and educational. For fans of war games and history, this could be an unmissable title. Lessaria Fantasy Kingdom Sim is a simulation and strategy game that puts players in command of a fantasy kingdom. The game mixes city building, resource management, and diplomacy elements with a big focus on developing your empire. The objective is to expand your kingdom, manage your lands, and deal with external threats that arise while trying to maintain peace and prosperity within your borders. One of the great features of Lessaria is the possibility of customizing your kingdom, creating structures, developing an economy, and training armies to protect your lands from invaders. Interaction with other factions will be fundamental, as you will need to negotiate, make alliances, and, in some situations, wage wars to protect or expand your territory. The game also promises to bring a magic system and fantasy creatures, offering a unique experience within the kingdom simulation genre. Lessaria offers players an engaging simulation experience of a fantastical medieval kingdom where strategy and resource management will be essential for success. The combination of building, diplomacy, and combat is a formula that, if well executed, can attract many fans of simulation and strategy. Based on the famous Game of Thrones universe, War for Westeros is a strategy game where players will command one of the great houses of Westeros in a fight for the Iron Throne. With detailed graphics and complex mechanics, the game will allow fans of the series and books to experience epic battles and political betrayals in a scenario of war and intrigue. The gameplay will be focused on kingdom administration, faction warfare, and treacherous alliances. Each house will have its own strengths and weaknesses, and the game will allow the player to explore the political nuances that made Game of Thrones so iconic. In addition to battles, resource management and diplomacy will be a fundamental part of the experience, requiring skills both on the battlefield and in the royal courts. The inclusion of characters and events from the series should ensure a rich experience for fans of the A Song of Ice and Fire universe. With a planned release for 2026, War for Westeros has the potential to be one of the great surprises for fans of strategy and Game of Thrones. If it delivers the political and military complexity of the series, it will be an excellent addition to the RTS genre.
This is your legacy. You decide who wins and who dies. Game of Thrones. War for Westeros.
Empire Eternal is a strategy game that challenges players to build and expand an empire throughout the ages. The title promises an empire-building system with a focus on strategic decisions, in addition to a robust combat mechanic where resource management and troop control will be crucial for success. The player will need to balance their economy, armies, and diplomatic relations to ensure the survival and prosperity of the empire. The great proposal of Empire Eternal is its evolution system, where the empire can go through different historical periods and evolve over time. From the foundation of the empire to its peak, the game will allow players to make strategic decisions that can directly impact the future of their kingdom. The variety of factions and playstyles should ensure that each game is unique and challenging. Empire Eternal has the potential to be an excellent empire-building game for those who enjoy titles like Civilization or Empire Earth. The combination of strategy and historical evolution promises an engaging and possibility-rich experience. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.
Your wish. I will make sure it holds. Yes. Setting up the building site.
All arrows count, Finn. The winds favor us. Ready to set, row faster!
Good, as really done.
I will make sure it holds.